Good evening, and welcome to an explosive, in-depth look at one of the most controversial moments to hit late-night television this week. Tonight's story is one that blends celebrity, satire, and a debate on the limits of comedy with a dash of fierce social commentary. In today's program, we dive into the storm surrounding the British actress Aimee Lou Wood and the way she was portrayed in a recent Saturday Night Live sketch. This narrative is layered with humor, indignation, cultural critique, and a reflection on modern media's approach to celebrity appearances. Sit back as we unfold every intricate detail of this story, explain why it matters, and examine the broader implications for comedy, feminism, and the evolving ways in which public figures are discussed in the media. The story begins with Aimee Lou Wood, a British talent celebrated for her captivating performances, notably in the hit series The White Lotus and Netflix's Sex Education, making headlines for reasons far removed from her latest on-screen accomplishments. In a series of Instagram posts which have since been viewed by millions around the globe, Wood did not hold back her true feelings about a Saturday Night Live parody that she claims was mean and unfunny. According to her, the sketch, which aired recently, not only ridiculed her physical features but did so in a manner that seemed intended to belittle rather than entertain. Wood specifically laments that the segment was centered around a portrayal of her with exaggerated prosthetic teeth, an element that, in her view, reduced her well-known big gap teeth to a punchline rather than acknowledging them as a distinctive part of her identity. Wood, a 31-year-old actress born and raised in Stockport, Greater Manchester, has long been recognized for her authenticity and raw talent. In her Instagram posts, she explained that while she is no stranger to being the subject of humor and can laugh along when the joke is clever and delivered in good spirit, this time, it wasn't the case. The sketch, as she described it, was nothing more than a cheap gag that punched down on her. For Wood, this portrayal was not simply an offhand attempt at humor. It was a deliberate misogynistic attack that undermined the very essence of how women in the entertainment industry are seen and treated. As our investigation into this controversy unfolds, we learn that the sketch featured impersonations not just of Wood's persona, but also of the broader cultural and political landscape that Saturday Night Live often caricatures. The spoof placed Aimee Lou Wood's character Chelsea in an imagined scenario where US President Donald Trump and his entourage were enjoying a stay at a whimsical fictional hotel. It was in this outlandish setting that the sketch's humor was ostensibly derived from exaggerating various traits and quirks of its guests, including the striking physical features of the British actress. The impersonation of Chelsea was executed by SNL cast member Sarah Sherman, who adopted a pronounced accent and utilized an exaggerated set of prosthetic teeth to mimic Wood's appearance. In one particularly unforgettable moment, the sketch's character, with a teasing smirk, asks, "Fluoride, what's that?" This line, aimed directly at mocking Wood's famously large gap, became a flashpoint for those watching. Wood herself was unequivocal. While she understood and even appreciated the art of caricature when it was done thoughtfully, this particular bit missed the mark entirely. In her own words, the joke was all about fluoride, which she felt was an unfair and reductive way to single out her physical traits. The discussion surrounding this sketch quickly spiraled, igniting debates on social media, in celebrity circles, and within feminist groups alike. Thousands of messages flooded Wood's inbox following her posts, with a wide spectrum of reactions. Many supporters echoed her sentiments, arguing that humor should never come at the expense of a person's identity or be rooted in outdated gender stereotypes. Critics, on the other hand, defended the sketch as a classic example of the biting satire that Saturday Night Live has been known for over the decades. They argued that parody and caricature are integral to comedy, and that targeting public figures, even for their physical appearances, has long been a staple of American satire. Wood's reaction to the parody was both measured and pointed. She made it clear that her criticism was never intended as an attack on Sarah Sherman herself, the talented comedian behind the portrayal, but rather on the concept behind it. In her impassioned statement, Wood emphasized that she has big gap teeth, not bad teeth, underscoring the difference between having a distinctive, unique feature and being the subject of ridicule designed to diminish one's character. The implication here is profound. When humor devolves into mockery at the expense of someone's identity, it crosses a line many believe should not be breached, especially in an era where discussions around body positivity, authenticity, and self-acceptance have gained such momentum. This is not a debate about aesthetics alone. It is a commentary on how society, and particularly the entertainment industry, perpetuates harmful stereotypes, often unchecked. Wood, by rejecting the portrayal, was essentially calling for a smarter, more nuanced form of satire, one that celebrates individual differences rather than using them as fodder for lowbrow humor. She acknowledged that being in the public eye comes with its share of criticism and that she is not thin-skinned. However, she also expressed disappointment that the conversation had shifted from her professional achievements to a focus solely on her appearance. "I'm not hating on Sarah Sherman," she stated with clarity. "I'm hating on the concept itself." In the wake of these events, an interesting dynamic unfolded on social media. Amid the flood of supportive messages from fans and fellow celebrities, one comment in particular caught Wood's attention. A comment by an unnamed user who described the SNL sketch as sharp and funny, before labeling it as having taken a screeching turn into 1970s misogyny. This mixture of praise and condemnation encapsulates the duality of the audience's response. The controversy has opened a larger dialogue about the role of humor in social commentary. Can a joke be both incisive and insensitive at the same time? Is there a fine line between caricature and cruelty? And if so, where should we draw it? For those unfamiliar with the intricacies of the entertainment world, Aimee Lou Wood's rise to prominence may seem like a straightforward success story. A talented actress making her mark with memorable performances. But as this latest controversy demonstrates, the spotlight often comes with a double-edged sword. Wood's experience is emblematic of a larger cultural moment in which public figures, particularly women, are frequently objectified and reduced to superficial traits. When an actress's unique features are transformed into the central theme of a sketch, the ramifications extend far beyond a single episode of comedy. Indeed, the impact of this controversy reaches into broader societal discussions about gender, representation, and the evolution of satire. For years, Saturday Night Live has been both celebrated and criticized for its bold, no-holds-barred approach to comedy. The show's legacy is steeped in political parody, cultural commentary, and a willingness to push boundaries. Yet, when the boundary between incisive satire and derogatory mockery becomes blurred, the consequences can be significant, not just for the individuals involved, but for public discourse at large. Aimee Lou Wood's condemnation of the sketch is a call for a higher standard of comedic artistry. In her post, she argued that humor need not come at the expense of decency or empathy. Instead, she suggested that comedy could be both clever and respectful, offering a critique that elevates rather than degrades its subject. This sentiment has resonated with many who believe that the art of parody should be used as a tool for constructive social commentary, rather than as an excuse for propagating outdated stereotypes and superficial judgments. In response to her criticism, Wood reported that she had received apologies from the producers at Saturday Night Live, a gesture that for some signals an acknowledgement of the misstep. The details of these apologies remain sparse, but their existence does illustrate that even established institutions of entertainment are not immune to calls for accountability in today's climate. Nonetheless, the controversy has prompted a re-evaluation of how humor is crafted and consumed, especially when it intersects with sensitive issues such as gender and identity. Adding an extra layer of emotional depth to the story is the reaction from Wood's family, particularly from her younger sister Emily. In a heartfelt gesture of solidarity, Emily shared an affectionate post on Instagram praising her sister's authenticity, strength, and resilience. "My greatest big sister, my best human on this planet," she wrote, underscoring the bond between the siblings and the importance of family support in times of public scrutiny. This personal touch reminds us that behind every public figure is a human being with vulnerabilities, strengths, and loved ones who stand by them unconditionally. The sisterly support has become a rallying point for many fans who see in it a reflection of the true power of authenticity and courage. It also serves as a reminder that while the world may be quick to tear down public images, the support of those closest to us can make all the difference. The admiration expressed by Aimee is not only a personal accolade, it is a public declaration that there's beauty in being unapologetically oneself, even when that uniqueness is used as a target for ridicule. But what does all this mean for the future of comedy and public discourse? As we peel back the layers of this controversy, it becomes evident that the debate is not simply about one sketch or one celebrity's reaction. At its core, it touches on the very nature of how humor is used as a mirror to society, a mirror that sometimes reflects our worst prejudices and sometimes our highest ideals. When the mirror shows an image that is distorted, exaggerating every flaw and every idiosyncrasy until it becomes a grotesque caricature, we are forced to confront the question, should comedy have boundaries? And if so, who gets to decide where they lie? For many fans of Saturday Night Live, the show's history of edgy, subversive humor is precisely what makes it a cultural touchstone. Its fearless approach to addressing controversial issues, from politics to pop culture, has earned it a place as a defining voice in American satire. Yet, the backlash following the portrayal of Aimee Lou Wood suggests that even those with a tradition of provocative humor must navigate a delicate balance between wit and insensitivity. In today's media landscape, where every joke is subject to instantaneous scrutiny and every tweet can spark a global debate, the stakes are higher than ever before. It is clear that the conversation sparked by this incident is not one that will be easily dismissed. Critics argue that by focusing on Wood's physical appearance in a manner that seemed designed solely to mock, the sketch inadvertently perpetuated harmful stereotypes. Stereotypes that have long plagued the representation of women in media. On the other hand, supporters of the sketch maintain that the essence of parody is to exaggerate, to take a well-known feature and twist it into something absurd, thereby offering a form of entertainment that both satirizes and entertains. Amid this spirited debate, the response from the entertainment industry has been mixed. Some commentators believe that this controversy serves as a wake-up call, a reminder that even time-honored traditions of comedy must evolve to remain relevant and respectful. Others caution that in the quest to avoid offense, we risk losing the edge that makes satire so powerful, a powerful tool for challenging the status quo and provoking thought. Aimee Lou Wood's perspective is one that resonates with a growing number of voices demanding that we rethink the way humor targets personal identity. Her remarks underline an important point. While public figures willingly put themselves in the spotlight, it is unjust to reduce their multifaceted identities to a single ridiculed trait. Wood's insistence that her big gap teeth are a symbol of both her uniqueness and her inner strength challenges the notion that physical characteristics should become the sole basis of comedic fodder. In this light, her criticism is not merely about a single sketch. It is a broader statement about dignity, respect, and the evolution of cultural norms in a rapidly changing world. Let's pause to consider the broader cultural context here. In an age when social media platforms amplify every voice, supportive or otherwise, the impact of a celebrity's statement can be both immediate and profound. When Aimee Lou Wood took to Instagram to share her views, her words resonated beyond the confines of a single controversy. They ignited conversations about authenticity, representation, and the true purpose of satire. These discussions are emblematic of a society in transition, where long-established modes of humor are constantly being reevaluated in light of new sensitivities and emerging social values. Critics who defend the sketch argue that the essential nature of Saturday Night Live is to offer biting, unapologetic commentary on a wide array of topics. They suggest that by exaggerating physical features, the show follows in the footsteps of legendary satirists who have never shied away from pushing boundaries. Yet, as this controversy demonstrates, there's a fine line between laughing with someone and laughing at them. When that line is crossed, the humor loses its charm and instead becomes a source of pain and alienation. Furthermore, The discussion takes on an even more nuanced tone when we examine the gendered aspects of the debate. Wood's comment, "I don't know if it was a man, would we be talking about it this much," is a potent reminder of the double standards that often exist in how men and women are treated in the media. While male celebrities frequently have their physical quirks parodied without significant backlash, women, especially those who do not conform to traditional beauty standards, are often subjected to a harsher, more relentless critique. This discrepancy reflects deeper societal issues related to gender norms, expectations, and the enduring pressure on women to adhere to a narrow definition of attractiveness. The social media response to Wood's posts is a case study in mode, any digital discourse. In the hours following her statements, thousands of messages poured in from fans, fellow celebrities, and casual observers alike. For many, Wood's stance was a breath of fresh air, a candid, unapologetic declaration that a person's worth is not defined by their physical features. The overwhelming support she received illustrates a shifting cultural paradigm, one that increasingly values authenticity and rejects the notion that humor must be hurtful in order to be effective. This brings us to a broader question. What is the role of satire in today's media? Traditionally, satire has been a way to hold a mirror to society, using humor and exaggeration to expose hypocrisy and invite reflection. From Jonathan Swift to modern late-night comedians, satirists have long been the provocateurs of the cultural landscape. However, as our social sensibilities evolve, so too must our approaches to comedy. The critique leveled by Aimee Lou Wood is not a rejection of satire per se, but rather a call for it to be wielded with greater care, insight, and respect. It is a reminder that behind every exaggerated feature is a real person with a complex identity, and that humor that dehumanizes ultimately fails to enrich our collective understanding. While the controversy continues to reverberate through the halls of Hollywood and beyond, it has also sparked a series of important conversations among industry insiders and cultural critics. Some argue that the incident should lead to a reassessment of how parodies are conceptualized and executed. There is a growing movement calling for comedy that challenges the powerful while still being mindful of the impact such humor can have on individuals who have long been marginalized or objectified. At the heart of this debate is a simple yet profound question. Can satire be both incisive and compassionate? Aimee Lou Wood's experience suggests that while satire has the potential to be a tool for incisive social critique, it must also be tempered with a sense of empathy. Humor that relies solely on physical mockery risks reinforcing outdated stereotypes and deepening divisions at a time when unity and understanding are sorely needed. One of the most compelling aspects of this unfolding drama is how it has managed to galvanize a wide spectrum of opinions. While some view the sketch as a harmless, if clumsy, attempt at humor, others see it as emblematic of a larger trend, one in which comedy increasingly relies on tearing down rather than building up its subjects. In today's digital age, where every joke is dissected and debated in real time, the consequences of a misstep are magnified, and the imperative for comedians to strike the right balance has never been greater. The narrative of Aimee Lou Wood's reaction extends beyond her individual experience, serving as a microcosm of a broader cultural moment. It forces us to confront the question of what it means to be a woman in the modern world, an age where personal identity is both celebrated and scrutinized in equal measure. Wood's insistence that her big gap teeth are a badge of honor, a symbol of her uniqueness and strength, is both defiant and deeply inspiring. It challenges us to reconsider our definitions of beauty and to celebrate the traits that set each of us apart, rather than conforming to a narrow, homogeneous standard. As we near the end of our comprehensive look at this controversy, it is clear that the implications of this incident are far-reaching. It is a powerful reminder that the media, and particularly the realm of comedy and satire, is undergoing a significant transformation. The boundaries of what is acceptable are being redrawn in real time, and the voices of those who have traditionally been marginalized are finally being heard. For Aimee Lou Wood, and for countless others who have felt the sting of public mockery, this moment is a call to action. a plea for a more thoughtful, inclusive approach to humor that respects the individuality and dignity of every person. Before we wrap up, let's revisit some of the major points we've explored today. Our story centers on the response of Aimee Lou Wood, a talented British actress widely recognized for her roles in groundbreaking series, who recently took to social media to express her discontent over a Saturday Night Live sketch. The sketch, intended as a comedic parody, featured an exaggerated impersonation of Wood by Sarah Sherman using prosthetic teeth intended to mock Wood's distinctive big gap teeth. For Wood, the joke was not only misplaced but also rooted in misogyny and an outdated way of perceiving women's appearances. While some viewers found the skit humorous, a significant number of fans and commentators were quick to criticize it, leading to a broad conversation about the limits and responsibilities of satire in today's culturally sensitive environment. Throughout our exploration, we've seen how the controversy touches on several key issues: the evolving nature of satire, the interplay between physical appearance and public persona, the double standards in media criticism based on gender, and the ongoing struggle for dignity and respect in a digital age that often prioritizes shock value over genuine insight. Additionally, the heartfelt support from Wood's younger sister, Emily, has added a personal dimension to the story, emphasizing that behind every public controversy is a human story of family, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of authenticity. Moreover, the broader implications for the entertainment industry cannot be overstated. The backlash against the SNL sketch is indicative of a shifting cultural landscape, one in which viewers demand that humor be clever, thoughtful, and conscious of its impact on the lives of those it portrays. As we move forward, it is likely that this incident will serve as a catalyst for further discussions on how to balance artistic expression with social responsibility, particularly when it comes to topics as sensitive as personal identity and gender representation. Throughout the night, as we have dissected every facet of this unfolding saga, one underlying theme has emerged: the power of a single individual's voice to spark a global conversation. Aimee Lou Wood's decision to speak out is not just about one ill-conceived sketch. It is emblematic of a broader trend where the voices of those who have long been sidelined are finally breaking through. By taking a stand, Wood has opened the door for others to challenge the conventions of satire and to insist upon a higher standard of respect and dignity in the portrayal of real people. In the end, this controversy is a call to all who work in the realm of comedy, entertainment, and media. It is a reminder that while the art of parody has long been a cherished tradition, it must continuously evolve to reflect the values of a society that is more diverse, inclusive, and attuned to the complexities of identity than ever before. Tonight's discussion has shown us that humor need not be at odds with respect, and that it is possible to craft satire that is both incisive and compassionate, a satire that challenges the powerful without diminishing the human spirit. As we close out our extended coverage of this important story, we invite you, our valued viewers, to reflect on what you have heard. Consider the ways in which humor shapes our perceptions, the responsibilities that come with public expression, and the ongoing evolution of our cultural norms. The controversy surrounding the SNL sketch and Aimee Lou Wood's impassioned response offers us more than just entertainment. It provides a mirror to our society, urging us to ask difficult questions about the nature of fame, identity, and respect in an increasingly interconnected world. Before we sign off tonight, we wish to leave you with one final thought. In a world where every quip, every caricature, and every public reaction holds the potential to start a new conversation, it is incumbent upon us all, whether as viewers, critics, or creators, to seek humor that elevates rather than diminishes. Let this be a call for comedy that celebrates the vibrant tapestry of human identity, one that recognizes that behind every exaggerated feature lies a person deserving of dignity, empathy, and understanding. Thank you for joining us this evening for this deep dive into one of the most talked about controversies in entertainment today. We hope that our thorough analysis has not only informed you, but also inspired you to think critically about the role of satire in shaping cultural discourse. As we continue to explore and dissect the intricate narratives that define our public conversations, we remain committed to bringing you the insights and perspectives that matter most. Stay tuned for more in-depth coverage, thoughtful commentary, and the latest updates on stories that capture the pulse of our ever-changing cultural landscape. This has been an unflinching exploration into the intersection of celebrity, satire, and social commentary, a story that reminds us of the power and responsibility of comedy in our modern age. We thank you for your attention and urge you to join us next time as we delve further into the issues that affect not just the world of entertainment, but our society as a whole. Enjoy the rest of your evening, keep questioning, and remember that every voice matters in the grand narrative of our culture. Good night, and until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and above all, stay true to yourself. The controversy began when Aimee Lou Wood, known for her authentic and captivating portrayals in beloved series like The White Lotus and Sex Education, took to social media to criticize a parody on Saturday Night Live that she described as mean and unfunny. Wood's post detailed her disapproval of a sketch in which a cast member, Sarah Sherman, imitated her with a heavily exaggerated set of prosthetic teeth and a particular focus on her distinctive big gap teeth. The sketch, featuring an improbable scenario with former President Donald Trump and his team at a fictional hotel, was meant to be a humorous exaggeration, but instead became a lightning rod for discussions about misogyny, the boundaries of satire, and the nature of public ridicule. In her passionate statement, Wood defended her individuality, arguing that while she welcomes clever and good-spirited satire, there is an inherent difference between poking fun at a public figure and demeaning that figure by focusing on personal, unchangeable attributes. For Wood, her gap teeth are not a flaw, but a unique part of who she is, a symbol of her identity and in many ways a badge of honor. Her criticism underscored a larger cultural conflict, the tension between traditional, often crass modes of parody and the modern demand for humor that respects the full humanity of its subjects. Wood's words, resonating powerfully on social media, soon triggered an avalanche of responses. Support poured in from fans who saw her stance as emblematic of a larger fight against superficial standards and outdated gender norms. Prominent voices in the entertainment industry began echoing her sentiment, questioning whether it was time for a shift in comedic paradigms, one that rejects tired tropes and embraces a more nuanced, respectful form of humor. Yet, there were voices defending the sketch, insisting that the exaggeration of physical features had long been a cornerstone of satire, a tradition that, while occasionally misfiring, is essential to the provocative nature of shows like Saturday Night Live. The ensuing debate has raised important questions about the responsibilities of satirists. Is it enough to simply punch up at the powerful, or does the nature of one's satire matter just as much as its target? Critics argue that by focusing on Aimee Lou Wood's appearance, the sketch strayed from intelligent commentary into the realm of personal mockery, a move that in their eyes undermined the very essence of meaningful satire. Wood herself emphasized that her criticism was directed not at Sarah Sherman, whose talent is unquestioned, but at a cultural notion that allows for the trivialization of a person's unique physical attributes. Beyond the immediate fallout, this controversy offers a lens into the broader struggles within today's media culture. As modern audiences become increasingly sophisticated and socially conscious, there's a growing expectation for content that is as respectful as it is entertaining. This means that comedy must not only be sharp, but also sensitive to the lived experiences of its subjects, especially when those subjects are real people with real stories. As we debate the limits of parody and the importance of respectful representation, we are also forced to confront the historical baggage of comedy, a genre that has long navigated the murky waters between humor and harm. In response to the heated exchange, Saturday Night Live reportedly extended apologies to Aimee Lou Wood, an acknowledgement that even in a world defined by sharp wit and biting satire, there are moments when the line is crossed and harm is done. The apology, brief yet significant, serves as a reminder that while comedy is essential to cultural dialogue, it must be wielded with an awareness of its impact. Apologies such as these, though not always entirely sufficient, mark the beginning of an important conversation about accountability in comedy. The ripple effects of this controversy have reached far beyond the immediate discussions of taste and humor. They have opened up broader debates about the intersection of celebrity culture, gender, and identity. For many, the incident is emblematic of a larger pattern in which women, regardless of their talent or accomplishments, are often reduced to their physical traits in public discourse. Aimee Lou Wood's assertion that the conversation over her appearance detracts from her professional achievements is a powerful indictment of a system that too often values superficiality over substance. Moreover, the voices of support that flooded in, particularly from Wood's own family, highlight the personal toll such controversies can take. Her younger sister Emily's public display of pride and solidarity is a touching reminder that behind every headline is a human being who deserves compassion and understanding. In a time when social media can amplify both praise and cruelty, the importance of familial support becomes all the more crucial. Emily's heartfelt tribute to her sister not only underscores the strength of their bond, but also serves as a beacon for those who continue to struggle with the double standards imposed by our society. As we bring tonight's exhaustive exploration to a close, it is essential to consider what lessons we might take away from this multifaceted episode. Aimee Lou Wood's reaction to the Saturday Night Live sketch is more than just a personal rebuke. It is a challenge to the status quo. It is a call for humor that is intelligent, empathetic, and progressive. Humor that respects the individuality of its subjects rather than reducing them to mere punchlines. Whether one agrees with her criticism or not, there can be no denying that this incident has sparked a necessary dialogue about the responsibility of those who create and consume comedy. In reflecting on everything we have discussed tonight, we are left with an enduring question about the nature of artistic expression in our modern, interconnected world. How can creators maintain the fine balance between pushing boundaries and preserving dignity? It is a question without an easy answer, one that continues to evolve as cultural norms shift and audiences demand more from their entertainers. The legacy of Saturday Night Live, known for its fearless approach and razor-sharp wit, now finds itself at a crossroads, a moment in time where the call for progress must be met with both introspection and innovation. This controversy reminds us that every joke carries the weight of history and the potential to influence public opinion. Whether we are laughing at a clever quip or cringing at a misdirected jibe, we are part of an ongoing conversation about the values we wish to uphold in our society. The story of Aimee Lou Wood and the Saturday Night Live sketch, in all its complexity, is a testament to the power of media to both entertain and provoke change. It challenges us to look beyond the surface of a well-known persona to see the human behind the performance, a human with feelings, struggles, and a fierce determination to be true to herself. As we sign off tonight, we leave you with this final reflection. In the ever-evolving landscape of entertainment, where controversy and creativity often dance hand in hand, it is our collective responsibility to champion humor that uplifts and enlightens. We must hold our creators to a standard that does not sacrifice compassion for the sake of a cheap laugh. Only then can we truly appreciate the art of satire, a form of expression capable of both critiquing power and celebrating our shared humanity. Thank you once again for joining us on this extensive journey through one of today's most contentious cultural debates. We trust that our deep dive into the controversy has provided you with a richer perspective on the challenges and triumphs faced by public figures in the spotlight. As you reflect on the events of tonight's discussion, remember that every voice, every story, and every perspective contributes to the vibrant tapestry of our cultural narrative. We look forward to exploring more stories that shape our world and invite you to continue this conversation as we all strive to create a more thoughtful and compassionate society. Good night, and thank you for staying with us through this in-depth exploration of the clash between tradition and progress, humor and hurt. May your evening be as reflective as it is inspiring, and may we all move forward with a renewed commitment to empathy, respect, and creativity in every facet of our lives.